Reverend Dr. Ken Gordon, spiritual leader for Centers for Spiritual Living, coming with the last week, August 27th, of our 2017 value themes. This one is prepared and brought forward to us by Reverend Cindy Grimes from Ocala, Florida, and her title is Being Kind in a Cruel World. We're faced with an incredible situation now, but when I read back in the past, I see that it was the situation then too. Nothing really changes. What we do have the opportunity to change, however, is change our own self and change our own being. And when we talk about being kind in a cruel world, especially following up on last week when we talked about being kind to ourselves, what we find that being kind is a spiritual practice. It's up to us to find ways to be kind to the world around us, to be able to respond in love rather than respond in hate or anger or frustration or violence. Dr. Holmes says in It's Up to You, we must not be disturbed by the contradiction of objective experience. We shall have to know that the truth we announce is superior to the condition which it is to change. We shall have to see that God in us recognizes God in the other person until the God in the other person recognizes God in us. This cannot be done by human will. It is only when we recognize the pure essence of the spiritual principle inherent and incarnate in each of us that we find that the thought arising from the atmosphere of spiritual realization has no adversary. Science of Mind textbook, page 433 and 434, Dr. Holmes writes, ultimately, we shall see that the universe rests on the shoulders of love, that God is love, and that all the errors of man and women are the result of ignorance of their own true nature. The happy outlook on life is always constructive. The understanding heart is always filled with sympathy and helpfulness towards all. An evolved soul judges no one, condemns no one, but realizes that all are on the road of experience, seeking the same goal, and that each must ultimately find his home in heaven. This world that we live in right now is filled with lots of opportunities. It gives us the opportunity to hate, it gives us the opportunity to be violent, it gives us the opportunity to be angry. It also provides us the opportunity to love. This love is the answer to what we seek. When we can begin to love one another, as so many of the great avatars in the past have told us to, what we'll find is that this nightmare that we seem to be living in begins to dissipate and dissolve and disappear. It is not real in and of itself. That objective sight that we see that exists in the world is something that we cannot afford to do any longer. It's time for us to stand up and have a voice, and more importantly, stand up and display and practice the love that we know is the truth of spirit and the truth of ourselves. It is our core belief. When Dr. Holmes says that when we can love another and that they might through that learn to love themselves, that's the key and that's the answer. To model our teaching in the way that Dr. Holmes brought it forward will transform this world. And that transformation will not only be for the benefit of ourselves, but for the benefit of everyone. Have a wonderful Sunday. God bless you, and please know that you're loved. Thank you.